Welcome, my peace, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'd be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. So let's talk about Married to Medicine, Season 5, Episode 12, Island Fever. Yeah, there was some island fever going on at the end of the trip, at the end of the time that the show is over. Like, come on. So, anyways, we know Dr. Heavenly, Dr. Damon, he arrives and everything, and it's all good. Dr. Heavenly, she's happy, she's excited. Her husband is there, and she can't wait to, spend some time with him. And so, we get Dr. Jackie and we get Dr. Curtis. Basically, they're walking on the beach, and I guess, Dr. Jackie is feeling some type of way about what happened, the other day, last week, where, Curtis had put Toya in his lap or whatever, or he reached towards her and had her sit on his lap, even though Toya was standing her booty right in front of him. But I guess she was feeling some type of way about that. At first, she was defending him, and she said she trusts Toya, she trusts the situation, and she's not gonna let him, she doesn't want him to be different around the friends, everything to be normal. You know what I'm saying? That's how Dr. Jackie was approaching the situation. But it seems like on the beach she wasn't feeling that. And she was just telling Curtis that he needs to be mindful and be respectful, that people might be treating him differently, and anything that he say or might do might be scrutinized right now. So be on your best behavior. And he was like, I'm not changing for anybody. I'm going to be myself like I was around them. And then they showed us clips of where Eugene and Toya shaded him. And then all that other stuff, they was talking about him dancing with the girls from the islands when they first arrived. So, Curtis, he's just like, I'm not going to change. I'm just going to be who I am. I'm not going to be different around these people. These folks ain't nobody to me. And, Dr. Jackie's in a confessional, and she was just like, I think it's disrespectful. He should not do that. It was wrong. And he should behave in a certain type of way because it might be embarrassing to me and people are going to be scrutinizing him. But he doesn't see it that way. So it kind of almost seems like he's not doing all that he can to please his wife at this time and point when they're supposed to be working on their marriage. And then she also said to him, I'm not going to change. I'm going to be myself. And she was like, no, you're going to be the new Curtis. He was like, no, I'm going to be Curtis. So it seems like, he kind of got the upper hand. I don't know. Maybe he feels like he shouldn't transform for these people, whatever, but he should do it for his wife because it'll make her feel better. I don't know what lesson he's trying to teach or what he's trying to do with that situation, unless he's trying to, stir Jackie in the direction of people. If they're not your friends, there's going to be people out here that's going to judge you anyway, regardless, and we got to be ourselves. But she was like, just be a little bit more dignified. And so, she just feeling like, she's just like, I'm not too happy now that he's here because, he's being scrutinized, and plus he's not doing anything to make the situation better. And she's just like, I can't control the situation. I can't control when I see him. I can't control when I talk to him back in Atlanta. I could do all that, but not here. So she's feeling a certain type of way. But Curtis did say, you know what? I'll just make sure the rest of this trip is going to be better. It's going to be good. It's going to be all this and that. So anyways, Dr. Damon and Dr. Heavenly, they go to, a different location. They go to where, Dr. Damon's father had, been buried or whatever. And we find out that Dr. Damon's father wasn't around in his life. He moved back to Barbados, and there was a whole lot going on in the situation why Dr. Damon's mother and his father didn't work out, but he forgives his father. And so we find out, Heavenly probably really chose Barbados because she wanted to make this happen, because that's where her husband's from and his family. So they go to the church, and then they find the father's gravesite and other family members. They don't have a headstone. And so, he's at his moment of peace, and he's just saying his goodbyes to his dad. But he also remembered the last time he seen his father when he was 17 years old, that, they made amends. He said that he loved his father, he forgave him, and he understood the situation of what was going on and what was happening. So he forgave him. He's at that peace with that situation. He's really happy that Heavenly has done this for him. And also, it was like he would never thought of to do something like that. So you can see why Heavenly and Dr. Damon are together, because, they complement each other and they do things for each other to make each other happy. And they care about each other emotionally as well. for her to just to be that thoughtful and not to just be like, oh, I'm just going to try to outdo Simone on this trip. So we learned all that situation. We also learned that, um, Dr. Damon growing up, he wanted to go to camp and his father sent the money, but it came too late because it was coming from Barbados and he missed the camp. So from that moment on, he said he wasn't going to depend on anybody or ask anybody for anything, and he was going to work really hard, and he was never going to be broke, and he was never going to have to ask for money. When he has kids, he was going to be there in their life forever and ever. And so we see where he gets his determination from and why he's very, cool, calm, and collective, because at a young age, he realized a lot of things people don't realize at an older age. So we see why him and Dr. Heavenly do get along. So that was good. And it was funny. The lady at the church, she was standing there like she wanted to say a moment, or she wanted to say a moment of silence. Let me say something. I was just like, okay. And so that was good to hear. It was good to know, to get into, a little bit about Dr. Damon. We don't even know that much about Heavenly. And he also said there's some things that happened that he won't disclose at all, So it is what it is. And so then we got, Dr. G and Dr. Heavenly. The rest of the couples, they all get on the bus because they're going to go, they're going to meet with a marriage counselor or sex therapist, and then they're going to go on the boat. So anyway, Dr. G and Quad are holding hands. They're kissing and shit like that. And, Contessa was like, it seems like something ain't right in that marriage. But yeah, they was holding hands. They was kissing, and he was hugging all up on her and everything. And so then everyone sees Dr. Heavenly and Dr. Damon arrive. And so the guys are letting Dr. Damon know, like, when you wasn't here, we was motherfucker this, we was motherfucker that, we was motherfucker anything we asked, where the hotel's at, mother effer. And so Dr. Heavenly's like, why are you snitching? And so then that's when Dr. Heavenly explains to all the ladies that are on the trip that, hey, this is what I did for my husband to find his fifth father. And she, let them know all the trials and tribulations she went through by calling churches to find Damon's dad's, burial site or whatever. And that's when, she's crying, she's tearing up, and then Quad jumps in, interrupts, and she was like, excuse me, waiter, can you pass me the salt, the pepper, and the ketchup? And so then, then instantly people was like, Simone was like, don't mess up. Quad, do you see something's going on? Don't mess this up, Quad. This ain't all about you. And Dr. Jackie said, you don't hear what's going on. The sister's being sensitive. She's telling us something that's important. And basically, they're just getting on Quad for interrupting. And Simone said, it's not all about you, Quad. Right now, baby. Quad was like, I know, it don't gotta be about me. And Simone was like, you're making it about you. And then and then they're saying Heavenly is being sincere. She's, sharing something very sincerely with us. And, she really does, especially when it's about her marriage and all this other stuff. And so then Heavenly gets into her confessionals, and then she's talking crap. She was like, Simone is just so rude and disrespectful. And, and she's selfish, and it comes out in her marriage. It comes out in her friendships. So, Dr. Heavenly's throwing jabs. She's saying Quad is selfish. I was like, oh, the reunion's going to be on point. And so then we got Dr. G, at the table with the guys. And then, Curtis is like, Dr. Damon, you should have been here. You should have seen how crazy Dr. G was last night. I was like, oh my goodness, five in a row. he got 5 in a row wrong on the sex questions, because they was telling, Dr. Damon about the sex questions and everything like that. And he was like, Dr. Gregory was off the chain. He didn't get none of them right. And so then they find out they're going to meet up with the sex therapist. So it already sets the tone that, Simone is calling out, Quad for interrupting Dr. Heavenly. But Dr. Heavenly interrupts mad people. But I understand it was a really deep moment, and it wasn't about the girls or whatever. So anyways, we have Toya. She's still talking about sex, not having sex with Eugene, and want to have sex and all this other stuff. And so basically Dr. Heavenly says, we're going to meet up with a sex therapist because some of y'all need some help in that area more than others. I was like, oh shit. So she's going in. So then, they're having a sex therapy class or whatever. And, we find out that Cecil doesn't even say I love you. We know that already, but he doesn't even call Simone and say I miss you or anything like that. And she said it's very important that he does that. And she said if he calls me and just let me know he's thinking about me, that lets me know that I know that he loves me. But I was like, damn, they've been married for 20 something years and they don't even call each other. Like, she could call him, that he can call her. Like, what's going on in that marriage where it's just so shut offish? Like, damn. Like, when you guys stop, loving each other, stop, wanting to hug and kiss, be romantic, like, whoa. And so, Simone was just like, I just need him to say, I love you. And then that's when, Cecil jumps in and he was like, well, when she says this to me, I turn around, I tell her that I love her and all this other stuff. And then she goes, I really don't mean it. So what is it? So that's when, the doctor was like, you just got to call her and just tell her, let her know you're thinking about her. There's so many different ways. And then you have Curtis, talking about he needs more time with Jackie. He wants to spend more time with his partner, and what he needs from her is some time. And so he just wants some time. He wants some time. He wants some love. He wants some affection, basically. And so then, Dr. Jackie tears up and she was like, I understand where he's coming from, but, I have patients, I have breast cancer, and I don't want them to feel alone. I don't want to feel like they want to die, or, I got to talk them off the ledge. I just want to be there for them because I know what they're going through. So that's when the doctor was like, she was like, your husband feels the same way. Curtis feels the same way. Just like you don't want to abandon and leave your patients alone, that's what you're ultimately doing to your husband. You're abandoning him. You're leaving him alone. He's feeling the same pain and the same fear that your patients are fearing. And what you don't want them to go through, that's what you're doing in your marriage. I was like, oh, shit. And Jackie says she took the message and she's going to be constructive with the message. And then Curtis says, what about having your partner do something, sexually that you want them to experience something new, something different? And the doctor was like, well, a threesome, if you want your partner to get in the threesome, then Heavenly is like, doctor don't even know. She put her foot in her mouth because, there's already been a threesome. Just Simone wasn't, Jackie wasn't invited. I was like, damn. You're going there. Heavenly, you on a roll with just dissing these ladies. And then Curtis, the nerve to say that, try to get our partner first. Okay, so now Curtis, he's lacking time. He wants to spend more time and all this other stuff with Dr. Jackie. Curtis wants to do that. So now he's also saying there's a problem sexually. He wanted to do different things in the bedroom or whatever. And basically, you got to make your partner feel comfortable enough and appreciated enough and special enough that they're able to do that with you romantically or whatever. And so then we got Dr. G. I just thought when you're into your husband or they into you, whatever, they'll just do whatever you want them to do. So so it's crazy that he's a therapist. What is he? A psychologist? Not he. For him to say that, I just thought that if the person's into you, they'll lay down and do whatever you want them to do. And he's a psychiatrist. I'm just like, damn, he's a psychiatrist, and that's how he kind of thinks. Like, so when he is doing couples therapy and shit like that, what does he say? What do he say to these couples? What do he say? So, anyways, and that's when we get the confessional, and that's when what's her name? Quad is like, well, if you treat me right, you do right by me, you make me feel special, you make me feel appreciative, you make me feel like you love me, then there's no limit to the sex that I will give you. There's no limit to the things that I'll do to you, baby. Just appreciate me. Just take out the trash. Just tell me you love me. Just give me that emotional support. And baby, these legs will be spread wide open. I'm just like, damn. They're going through a lot. It seems like, there's a lot going on with these couples that a lot of them are not happy. Well, we got Jackie and, Cecil, and we have Simone and Cecil, and then we have Jackie and Curtis. Like, they got some real issues going on. And Curtis is just not mindful of the things that he say, because maybe at this time and point Curtis is really trying to get help for the relationship, and maybe there's some things sexually he wants to do with Jackie. They've been together for like 14, 15 years. Like, damn, you guys should have done tried and did everything by now. Shit, what else is there left to do? You should be like, damn, what else could we make up to do? But it doesn't seem like it's going that way, because, you know, Jackie's too busy and Curtis too busy dipping it somewhere else. So it is what it is. And so I was just like, damn. And so Contessa, when she heard, you know, Curtis talking about, you know, your partner doing something sexually, having them to, you know, try something new sexually, Contessa's like, oh my God, you know, Curtis is just an asshole. I was like, oh no. But that was like a blow to, you know, Dr. Jackie, for the doctor to say the same way that you fear for your patients, it's the same way it's going on with Curtis. I was like, damn, you know, you can't let him feel abandoned and unwanted and unappreciative, and, you know, like you're not there, like you're not supporting. Then we got, you know, Eugene and Toya, basically they ain't having sex and all this other stuff, but then they do talk about having sex afterwards because everybody's getting on them to have sex. I'm just like, oh no. And so anyways, we get to, you know, the doctors, you know, working in the community, basically, you know, that was a good thing. But we find out Curtis' blood pressure is 180 over 110 and is really high. It's terrible. And then they're preaching to Curtis. Curtis is like, yeah, whatever, I'm going to change, I'm going to do this. And then you have, so it just seems like Dr. Eugene, you know, blood pressure was 180 over 110, and it just seems like he wasn't really that concerned about it. Jackie made a big deal out of it. Everybody else kind of made a big deal out of it, basically, and just telling him to take care of himself. He got 2 boys or whatever, and it was real serious. And even Jackie was on him too as well. Simone was on him as well. And then you have, you know, Toya, she was just utterly embarrassed. And so she was sitting over there talking to, you know, Mariah. She was like, well, he works a lot. So yeah, this is probably the reason why he doesn't want to have sex, is because he's working so much. He has high blood pressure. And, you know, he's probably stressed out. And then he eats a lot where he gained all that weight. It seems like Eugene could be depressed as well. He's depressed. You know, he's overeating, and he's not having sex, and he's not really, you know, looking forward to having sex. That sounds like somebody with some depression going on. Something's going on, and it could be his blood pressure, and it also could be, you know, the working hours, but his blood pressure probably has a lot to do with it. Eugene's probably feeling a lot of dizziness and headaches and stuff like that, and he's not taking his medication at all, because he felt like he lost some weight. And you'll think that he'll be different because he's a doctor. Dr. Jackie said doctors are the worst patients. So Toya feels embarrassed, and Curtis feel embarrassed too, because it's like they're kind of like the butts of everything. Like, they ain't having sex, but at least he ain't cheating on her, and then they're having a tax problem. It's just like, you know, they're like the children in the group or whatever. You know, that's what it seems like, but it possibly can't be. But, you know, Eugene is a nice guy or whatever. So it is a lot going on with that situation. You got Contessa, and you got her husband Scott. They're working, they're chatting, they're talking about their business or whatever, you know, doing their work. It's just, and you know, they don't throw it up in each other's face or whatever. And so then now we get to the boat. You know, the boat's nice. They got like 3 levels. It's all good or whatever. Then Mariah got on her, you know, United States outfit that she has on. And then Contessa was like, oh, I didn't know you were so patriotic, blah, 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 and all this other stuff. And then, you know, Mariah was like, yeah, I am. It's just, I know my tone's a little bit different. I know I might be a little bit loud or whatever. But then that's when Contessa says, well, I don't think you're different from anybody else, Mariah. And Mariah was like, see, Simone? So you already know. Mariah couldn't wait for that compliment. She couldn't wait for somebody to start digging into something. And it's like, damn, I thought they was cool. I thought they was happy so far, but I guess not. And then that's when Mariah says there's a double standard. There's double standards. And then Mariah says, Mariah, they only want me around if I'm silent, if I'm quiet, if I don't say anything. Silent. If I'm silent, if I'm silent, it's all good. They don't mind me being around if I'm silent. As long as I'm silent, they don't mind me being around. Oh shit! I thought that was so funny. That was clever for her to say that. I was like, oh shit. And then Quad says, if someone calls you out, Mariah, doesn't mean that, they're trying to attack you. Yes, and that is, like, you can't talk to Mariah, and I don't think you can talk to Quad. It's like, it's these people, these two ladies are too hard to talk to. Like, when you confront them about anything, it's not like they listen and they try to understand. The first thing they try to do is attack or try to defend themselves, not try to get the whole gust of the conversation on what's going on. Lately in these last episodes, Quad, you could use to be able to talk to her. Mariah, when you try to tell her something, or you try to tell her, hey, listen, I think that was wrong, you shouldn't have did that, oh, you made me feel that type of way, Mariah will instantly go, well, you did this to me, you did that to that person. And Quad is the same way too, because they were trying to give her, tell her to take it easy, to listen to her husband or whatever, so she won't end up like, Cecil and, Simone. And she was like, nah, I don't want to hear that. It's because it's about money. He don't appreciate me. He's not emotional. And then, Dr. Jackie just gave up talking to, Quad about the situation, because, she didn't want to hear it. And it's like, you can't give them any type of constructive criticism. Like, everything, I think they both think that everything is an attack. No matter what you say, it's an attack. If they don't agree with you, then it's an attack. Like, you can't tell her about anything with her. You can't give Quad any advice about her marriage or anything like else. She immediately attacks the situation, throwing her husband under the bus and telling you that you don't know what you're talking about, and then she'll start crying and yelling, getting all loud. And who wants to deal with that? I'll be like, you know what? Do you, baby? And Mariah's the same way. You can't tell her that she was wrong with Heavenly. She can't even see the just of that when she gave, Toya that trophy it's just like, you're the only person that has, you haven't attacked my mother, whatever. She didn't see how that possibly could be, a shot at Dr. Heavenly. She didn't even consider it. She just said, well, if I'm coming for you, I'm coming for you, and it won't be no excuse. So it's like they both on the same page or whatever. So moving on from that. And so then that's and then Mariah said, no one calls you out on you. Then Mariah says, no one calls you out on Quad on the shit that you do. Nobody called you out, because everybody feels that everybody got to walk on eggshells around you. I was like, oh shit. And she was like, because you are the youngest in the group, so nobody wants to hurt your feelings. I was like, oh shit. When she said that when she said that, she said everybody, that means they've been talking about Quad. And what she said was facts, amongst the ladies. And and that's when, and then Mariah said, if you don't believe me, ask everybody right now. Ask them. So, it was facts. And so at that time and point, Quad was under the attack, because Mariah had that mean face on. She had that face just like my grandmother be having when she's about to get into you and tell you about yourself. She had that face on like, oh no, baby, you ain't getting away with it today. We gonna talk about this regardless. That's the face that Mariah had on. And she was ready to go. Like, she ran with that comment that Contessa said, and she went all the way in. And then, Simone picked it up, because Simone been drinking on that brown liquor, and she knows she's about to get a divorce, and she knows shit ain't right at home. So why not fuck with Quad at this time and point? That's how I seen it. You guys tell me your take on it. And so then Mariah was like, ask them. And then that's when Simone says, however, we do take it easy on you, Quad, because we know how sensitive you are. And it's just, and so now it's like Mariah spoke up, now Quad is speaking up, and now Simone is speaking up for the group, saying, however, we know you're very sensitive. So that gives validity to what Mariah was saying was true. So we'll take Contessa out of the equation about walking on eggshells, but the rest of the ladies might feel that way. And everybody got their face on like, the guys are over there sitting like, damn, this is going to be a showdown. And so then Mariah goes, that's bullshit. Then Damon tried to jump in, and Cecil was like, no, stop. Don't get involved. And then Quad goes, you guys never gave me a break. When I tried to get into this group, you guys never gave me a break. All y'all did was talk about me, and I believe that is true, that they did talk about Quad. They didn't like Quad at all, especially when she was running around town with Mariah. They wanted to split that group up, in my opinion. I could be wrong, because it's been a long time, many episodes ago. So, and Quad was like, all y'all did was talk about me. They judged her too as well, because she wasn't a doctor at the time, and she had just married, Dr. Eugene. People were saying that she was out here trying to get his money and blah 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 and all that other stuff. So then Simone said, you put yourself on the pedestal. Then after a while, Quad did put herself on a pedestal that she was above everybody. But she had to do that to survive on this show because people were coming after her. We're talking about her, laughing in her face and talking about her behind her back. But at the end of the day, the group chose Quad's side, and that's why Mariah was off the show. Now she's back on the show, and it seems like she's coming for Quad, and she got her old team to come at Quad, but it might change up on the next episode. So peace, I'm out. Tell me what you think about the bull. One love.